And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and always providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, and most importantly, we want to engage with you so we can help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, how can you engage? There's multiple ways. You can reach out to our Consumer Advocate Hotline. You can call or text 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. That's our Consumer Advocate Hotline number. You can call or text that number anytime. Also, our website, consumerqb.com. We've got a plethora of information available for you on our website, consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors there, their contact information, and websites as well. It's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Back in studio, Kevin Fiske, mortgage banker, Mutual of Omaha Mortgage. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, thanks, Brandon. Glad to be back and excited to go ahead and talk to the listeners about the different options out there of what myself and the whole team together can do to help home ownership become a reality. Many different programs, a whole slew of, and again, it's not for just someone with credit troubles. It's certainly not just for first-timers. We love repeat offenders, as we like to call them, but the self-employed folks. I mean, bottom line is there's programs out there for everybody. The down payment assistance, I mean, we can't talk that up enough. Basically 100% financing for folks. So a ton of options. We're here to just educate and guide people through that process.
That's right, and you are a military veteran yourself, and we've got an interesting story coming up in our feel-good story as well. Lieutenant Dan actor Gary Sinise. We'll talk about that as well. We've got attorney Frank Miranda back in the house, real estate attorney, and doing title closings, real estate closings as well.
Hey, Brandon.
Welcome in.
Hey, thanks for having me again, and I really appreciate your show and what you're doing for the consumer. We're proud to serve this area. We're a local law firm, with third generation into Tampa. We know the ins and outs and who the people are that you should be dealing with. Happy to give any expert opinion we have as anyone you have on the show, any question you guys may have, how to avoid pitfalls and try to make yourself safe.
That's right. Be, that consumer advocate approach to what we do here with the show. It's all about helping you understand those buying decisions, those ideas out there. You've got a lot of commission-based advice that's so prevalent now in our community out there. So I call it commission breath. You got to be careful of that. So we're going to help you win in any marketplace. Giving a shout out to our restaurant partner, the Lucky Dill is the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. They've got a deli, they've got the NYC bar, Brooklyn Bakery, and catering, banquets as well, and 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa. They also have a location in beautiful Palm Harbor right off of US 19 as well. Great restaurant. Check them out. Let them know that the real estate quarterback sent you, and they're going to give you some special offers and incentives as well, just by mentioning that you're a fan of the show. And all you have to do is let them know that, and they're going to hook you up with a free water with lemon every time. They're going to take care of you over there at the Lucky Dill. And Tampa, right across from the International Plaza Mall. Great location, great staff, friendly atmosphere, and a great restaurant partner of the show. So, yeah, coming up, we have our feel-good story of the day. Lieutenant Dan actor Gary Sinise has dedicated his life to support veterans, and he's overcome with emotion by a thank you video. So we're coming up in our feel-good story of the day. And I got a couple of hot listings I want to start off with, let you know about a couple of hot property opportunities here. Commercial opportunity that we have, 207 Coronado Drive. This one's over in Clearwater Beach, and it is a great opportunity for an investor, developer, builder, entrepreneur. It could be all types of, this is a great location right on Clearwater Beach, across from the Wyndham Grand, adjacent to the Hyatt as well, and it's right across the street from Pier 60, beautiful Pier 60 there on Clearwater Beach, the number one beach in the world, by the way. 7424 4th Street North is another property that we have, another commercial asset, starting off with a couple of commercial opportunities here. This one is a gas station that's on a corner lot, 4th Street North, just north of downtown, and it's got a large footprint, good size size land, and it's got 3 service bays as well for mechanical. If you know of anybody that's in that position that would be interested in that type of opportunity, we'd love to talk to you. Or any of our 35 plus listings at the consumerqb.com website. We'd love to connect with you as well. All right, so this is Intelligent Talk Radio. Let's jump into it. We've got Kevin Fiske in the house, mortgage banker, veteran, local lender. I always talk about supporting the local economy within the Tampa Bay market. So what are you seeing out there? What are we looking at here? Here we are going into, we're still in the middle of the first quarter, and we have, mortgage rates are still relatively low based on a 40 to 50 year low pretty much still.
Yep, the Federal Reserve, as far as the eye can see, that they're not going to start inflating those again. So we're looking good there. Inventory's doing well. Obviously, prices are on the climb. I mean, we all know this. So now is the time to buy. So if anything's holding you back, as far as whether it's you got a few credit issues or even you don't think you have enough down payment in your pocket, I mean, don't let that be the reason to reach out to us, because we can help you with both those. Those are not going to prevent you from buying a home. So now is the time. And Brandon, maybe you should touch on that. We have a seminar coming up.
That's right. Yeah, good point. Thursday, buyer-seller seminar. That's the 28th. It's going to be over at Cox Media Group, 1025 The Bone radio station, 4th Street North. And it's a great opportunity for you to learn more about the buying and selling process. We're going to have a lot of our expert contributors there. And Kevin and his team from Mutual of Omaha Mortgage, they're going to be talking about 100% financing. And then also the best part about that, the 3.5% that goes down, that's gifted as a down payment. That's actually gifted after 36 months of timely on time payment. So that's a buyer-seller seminar. We're going to have the home inspector there talking about that side of the business. It's going to be a great event. We're going to have some catered food.
A to Z.
And it's a fun time too, because it's at the radio station. Sometimes people say, I want to go where I hear some of these other stations and I hear about the radio shows. So they like to go check it out, get a tour of the studio. We can give them that as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Everyone should come on down and again, from A to Z, from start, from application, from looking at homes with you. So here's the keys. Here's the closing. You own it. Yeah, we'll do everything to help you except move your furniture into the house for you.
That's right.
All right.
And we've got a good connection for that. It's Brothers Easy Moving. Gary and his team over at Brothers Easy Moving. That's our official moving partner. So we've got a great connection for you. They do a great job. Got a lot of reviews online, very positive reviews that they have online. So, yeah, it's interesting. I just came back from the Keller Williams family reunion out in beautiful New Orleans. And it was interesting. Gary Keller, man, it was my first time meeting him or seeing him on stage, and the guy is a genius when it comes to real estate technology. I mean, essentially what we just did is we rolled out a $1 billion tech platform that rivals that of Amazon and Netflix. So it's got artificial intelligence built into the traditional model. We all want to keep our clients off of Zillow and those other sites, right? Because they're going to solicit them and they're going to start selling their own deal. So what we've done is we've created this technology platform that has artificial intelligence built in, so it knows if you're a veteran or if you like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or if you are interested in whatever type of interest you have. This technology now on your drip campaign is going to send you out an actual personalized email, or they used to call it a landing page, but it's going to be a website that's personalized to what you like in terms of your real estate needs, your neighborhoods, your preferences. So that's just part of what they did, but it's really neat to see how someone that has vision, it's almost like a Gates or the Apple guys escaping me, but
Jobs.
Yeah, it's like that type of from what I've seen with the technology platform that he's rolled out. It's basically as number one in the company or in the the industry, he's just going to further separate that.
Absolutely. KW is always cutting edge with everything that they do. So
yep.
That's why we're excited to always work with you and your team.
Yeah,
Platinum MVP, for sure.
Yep. And it boils down to that, you have the national, but then you also have the local level here. So it's kind of choosing hey, who do I want to quarterback my next transaction, right? Who do we want to work on our financing side? And I tell you, this 100% finance, I don't think people really understand that, Kevin. The gift down payment, plus it's going to be just given to you after 36 months. That's a big deal.
It is. And so in a nutshell, what that is we and this is in-house, so this is not one of the many county programs out there that a lot of other lenders have. So it's FHA and it's conventional, but the particular program you're talking about is So that 3.5% down on FHA, it's required across the country. If you're doing FHA, you have to have at least that much. On this particular program, we'll go ahead and take care of that 3.5%. You make those first, just like you said, 36 months. You make those first 3 payments on time. That 3.5% is completely forgiven, wiped away, free money, 100%
I like that.
financing.
I got a button for that too. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Show me the money. I got another one for it.
It's very nice.
So that's, that right there is a game changer for people. I mean, 3.5. Let's say it's a $200,000 deal, 3.5%, 3,500, so $7,000.
$7,000
gifted to them just for living in the best country in the world.
Amen.
You know, and
sign me up. I'll take 2.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So Kevin Fiske, mortgage banker here, Mutual of Omaha Mortgage. You've heard Rob Fricker on the show as well before, as well with the team. So yeah, you got a great team over there helping people sort through a lot of the nonsense out there. A lot of these people claim to have these no fees, no costs, basically those types of situations. So be careful of that out there, guys, and work with the best here in Tampa Bay. ConsumerQB.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors there. Check us out on social. We got a lot of social pages where you can connect with us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. We've got the Consumer Quarterback Show pages. So stay with us. When we come back, more from Kevin as well. And we also have attorney Frank Miranda. He's going to be dropping some knowledge in the areas of real estate law, different types of scenarios, something interesting. We talk about that story coming up, Frank. We're going to jump into that story a little bit. Yeah. So interesting story kind of going on locally here as well. That was, on ABC Action News. So stay with us right here when we come back. Lieutenant Dan. You remember Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump? Gary Sinise, he's dedicated his life to supporting veterans, and he's overcome by the emotion with this recent video. So stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to ConsumerQB.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win. We're looking for buyers, sellers, investors out there for our real estate business. We want to help you win in negotiations, helping you source the right properties, helping you make sure you put the right offers in. We're looking for agents that want to join our team. We're expanding statewide right now. We're in the middle of a statewide expansion, looking to really grow. Real excited about that. My wife Lindsay and I are the owners of the team, and we are excited about the growth. Excited about the technology that Keller Williams has recently rolled out. So we've got a couple of new hot properties here. 4613 South Matanzas Avenue. This is a beautiful property in South Tampa. Ian Beckles is the owner, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and he is a local radio show jock on Sports Talk. So we got a 4-bedroom, 3 full bath, 1 half bath property here at 4613 South Matanzas Avenue. $720,000 just reduced, and this is a great opportunity. Just a quick walk over to Bayshore Boulevard to enjoy all that South Tampa has to offer. And it's a split floor plan, offers privacy, just a beautiful property. Another hot property listing here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving. They do a great job with all your local moves here and also national moves. They are among the best reviewed movers in Tampa Bay. They hold a 4.6 rating, the highest in the Tampa Bay area. Also an A rating on the Better Business Bureau and Angie's List. 4.5 rating on Yelp, and they've won the Super Service Award multiple times. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out, let them know that the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got attorney Frank Miranda in the house. Frank, I love when we talk about these different situations. This truly is intelligent talk radio, because a lot of times people don't understand these situations that arise out there, and if they are quick to jump to conclusions, or if they're answering questions to the insurance agency, I mean, they can really dig themselves into a hole when it comes to legal situations. But you've noticed some interesting stuff going on lately, you said.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact when I come in here now, I'm able to share stories of what's going on with my practice. And so aside from, doing the transactional aspect of it and protecting the consumer during and before and during the closing, I have the unique ability to go ahead and tell you stories of the courtroom. And that blend is what's missing in a lot of people that do this kind of title work, because they can guide you and keep you out of litigation, hopefully, and get the deal closed.
Right.
Now, the situation we were talking about before we came on the air is I heard of a elderly woman who was approached by a real estate agent, and from my understanding, the initial meeting that took place when the agent was handing out literature advertising, and in this aspect, it was calendars, and it seemed pretty innocuous at the time. And then later on, this woman continues to ask whether or not the property's for sale. Property happens to be a block off the beach in St. Petersburg, small little 5-unit place. Lo and behold, what happens is, over the course of some events, this person files a guardianship over this woman, claiming she's incapacitated.
Wow.
Goes all the way through a trial. They stick her involuntarily into a retirement center. The facts along the way are pretty much undisputed, in that before the realtor filed this guardianship, she had the ability to did take this woman to her bank. She saw her bank records. She saw what she had in the bank.
Wow.
And there's undisputed fact that this woman asked if she was willing to sell the property. She refused to sell the property. And in the timeline, if you look at the timeline, only after she saw bank statements and after the fact, she learned that she sold half of the property to a long caring relative that's been caring for this woman for 15 years for undervalue. That she say he's taking advantage of her. All the neighbors who are familiar with this lady and familiar with the family members say that's not the case. This guy loved his great aunt, loved his great aunt, took care of her for 15 years, did everything at this little motel for her, took her to the grocery store, took her to the church 3 times a week, took her to the doctor. He didn't take advantage of her at all, according to the neighbors. And this woman who lives miles and miles away, all of a sudden thinks that she's doing a good thing and files this guardianship.
Wow.
So I heard about the story. I went to court one day, and I didn't like what was going on. And so I was fortunate enough that this gentleman retained me. And I've, for the last week, have been reading the transcript of this trial that went on. Some of these facts I just told you about were in this document. And so we're in it, and we're going to investigate everything. And,
Wow.
And, this story came to light by ABC News. A great reporter, Adam Walser, ran a story on it coincidentally this past Monday, which is the day before I got involved in the case. There happened to be a symposium yesterday in Tampa with some national speakers about how this guardianship epidemic, how people are taking advantage of the law, and they're isolating people from their family. When they isolate them, they drug them. They put them in these retirement centers. And then there's a third party that you don't know controlling your assets.
Wow.
And that, I think, on ABC News tonight, they're going to rerun that story.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of things about this story that should upset a lot of people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we are going to absolutely investigate every stone we can, and we're going to look at every motive out there, because on its surface, it looks bad.
Yeah.
I can tell you we're going to issue a lot of subpoenas to a lot of people, and we're going to take a lot of depositions, and we're going to come to the truth to see what's really going on there. So come full circle back to this, what this show's about is protecting the consumer.
That's right.
Okay? And so you may or may not have unscrupulous people trying to find a way to sell pieces of property that people don't want to sell.
Yeah.
And so they're out there, folks, and we're here to make you aware of the scenario. I'm going to encourage everyone, if you have any assets, because, coincidentally, there's nobody with no assets that they're putting into guardianship.
Right.
Okay? They don't care about those people.
Right.
It's the people that have assets that don't have family members around. And by the way, the filing of the petition for this guardianship that I'm talking about occurred when her sole family member from this country went overseas to visit other family members. So if you look at the timeline when everything went down, you got to be skeptical.
Yeah, it is. That's crazy. So there's some kind of a law that's allowing this type of thing to happen.
There's a whole statute. There's a whole statute book. It's it's on law and guardianship. It's Chapter 744 of the Florida statutes. And
Wow.
if you look at it, anyone can file a petition. So next time Trump's down here visiting his golf course, if someone filed a guardianship against him, they're going to go question him.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, it's interesting when we look at especially the consumer law, the voting laws, the motor vehicle laws, the ones that we're also dealing with, the pill mills. Whenever things get changed, there was an example of one that we talked about on the show that was with the shootings down in Parkland. They had just made a change for the better, where now the first responders or the witnesses that saw these horrible acts happen, now they can file for workers' comp and be compensated with work comp under those laws. So the wheels of justice sometimes take longer to spin, and in this case, it sounds like something needs to be done.
I agree with you, and the sad thing is there's three people that gave this woman a psychiatric evaluation. One's an ER doctor, one's a nurse, and one is a psychologist. I would argue that only one of them is qualified to make that opinion. But when you look deeper into it, what I've read so far is, they gave this woman preliminary psychological studies, and they based their opinion on that. So I spoke to a doctor who has board certifications in 6 areas related to geriatrics. Well, head and shoulders credentialed above the 3 people that examined this woman.
Right.
And what he said is, hey, look, you can manipulate the outcome of these tests, because when you ask somebody, hey, what's the date today?
Yeah.
And they can't give you the date, which I'd venture to think most of the people in this room can't tell you the date today.
Right.
And that person says, no, you can lose 3 points on a test that's only 30 points.
Right.
And, to me, that seems a little bit archaic, number one. But number two, there's no explanation as to how these people did this. So if this woman said, I don't know the date today, but she looked on her cell phone and she was able to obtain the date, then I think you have the abilities, the cognitive abilities to figure out an answer.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so, but that could be marked wrong by
Right.
whoever's giving the test.
Right.
And so there's a lot more questions that we're going to ask that unfortunately weren't asked. But and I'm not saying anyone did a wrong job. I think they did a fine job in representing these people. I think the system set up where, and I'll give you a perfect example. Law officer makes an allegation somebody was smoking pot. They come to court. He testifies. Defendant testifies. The judge is always going to listen to the officer over the defendant.
Sure.
And so what happens in these scenarios, these people have been pre-qualified per statute that they can give these opinions. And so I don't blame a court for, taking the advice of these people. But when you dig deeper, I think there's got to be questions. And so the problem with the law is this. The problem with the law is there's no mechanism to check the people that we trust.
Right.
Okay? And it's been shown throughout our whole existence in this country, from Wall Street all the way down to anyone else that's going to make a dollar. If you don't look over someone's shoulder, there's a portion of every segment of society that's going to take advantage of the people that we're trying to protect.
That's
what
true.
this show's trying to protect.
That's right. Absolutely. I see it. We see it all the time. You see different examples of that. And that's really good stuff there, Frank. So attorney Frank Miranda, real estate attorney here in Tampa, reach out to him, reach out to consumerqb.com. And we want to help you with all of your consumer advocate content and advice. Coming up, Lieutenant Dan actor Gary Sinise has dedicated his life to support veterans. Find out how right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping our consumers win in every marketplace. And we are 5 o'clock drive time right here on 1380 The Biz, the Wall Street Business Network weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone. And now we have our show on Apple TV, Amazon TV, Sony TV, Roku, and 85 other outlets. So if you're watching us worldwide, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're real excited that you are here with us, and we're going to help you win in any marketplace. That is our goal. This segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort on Gulf Boulevard in beautiful Treasure Island, filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. The Bilmar Beach Resort has been one of the most sought-after destinations in the Treasure Island area for years, and the Bilmar Beach Resort is a beautiful place to visit. I've been there personally, vacation with my family, 2 pools on site, a gorgeous beach, games out there for the kids. They got the Sloppy Joe's restaurant and beach bar right on site. Beautiful place to go hang out. Bilmar Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Make sure you get them a call. Let them know that the real estate quarterback sent you. Talk to Clyde Smith over there. He's the general manager, and he'll take good care of you at the Bilmar Beach Resort. All right, got a couple of hot listings here. This one's 109 18th Avenue South in Pinellas County. Kind of give you a sample of that 33705 zip code. This is an 8-bedroom, 4-bath, split up into a couple different units here. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath. You also have a detached in-law apartment, which has 3-1 and a 3-car garage. $500,000 offering here from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Beautiful property here in sunny Tampa Bay. All right, so we've got our expert contributors here in studio today. Kevin Fiske, he's a mortgage banker. He's a local veteran as well, and a local mortgage banker. And we also have attorney Frank Miranda, real estate attorney, and does title closings, real estate closings, and they're both as consumer advocates here, taking time out of their busy schedules to come in and work with us and talk with us here on air. So let's go back to Kevin now. So Kevin, interesting. When you hear things like what Frank had just mentioned with that story, I mean, it just kind of makes you really, second guess, and to just think about what's happening as a people, as a country, as a community, and they're out there. It's a small percentage of the people, depending on, it's a small percentage of the people that look to take advantage of people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Frank, that breaks your heart. That breaks your heart when you see something like that. But just like you said, Brandon, I mean, I'm certain that's not an isolated case where there's just, wherever you have people, there's good and there's bad. And that's right. Unfortunate that we all kind of have to be on our toes to make sure they're no one is taking advantage of others.
That's right.
Whether it's you, whether it's those you know, heck, those you don't know.
That's right.
It's just good versus bad.
Yeah.
Hate it.
And it's what you don't know. A lot of times you don't know that you don't know it in a lot of cases, and that's what they call, the unknown unknown. It's that thing that, can be particularly damaging to people. But we're going to protect you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So let's dive in. So we talked about 100% financing. Let's talk about some veteran stuff.
Absolutely.
Veterans are, man, it's a great time of year to do that, especially when you look at, our government does a lot of things wrong, and just depending on which side you look at, who you're talking to that day. But there's one thing that we know that they got 100% right, and it's 100% financing for our veterans.
Absolutely. VA mortgage for all. First of all, as a veteran, I need to thank all the listeners out there that had served, are serving, doesn't matter, active duty, guard, reserve. And so our way of giving back when it comes to the VA mortgage, there's no bank fee, there's no lending fee. We'll pay for the appraisal. Every loan that we close, we donate some money at that closing to one of 4 veterans charities. We're approaching the $3 million mark, so it's not chump change.
That's awesome.
We're making it happen for the veterans, like I said, as a way to say thank you, and that is for every veteran. It is 100% financing with no mortgage insurance.
Yeah,
best game in town.
It really is. Yeah, and you look at the ability also when you partner up with a great realtor that understands the market. First of all, they know that we're in a declining market. We're in a market right now where we are shifting, and I think people don't understand that, especially people that are still like for sale by owner, throwing their house out there at 110% of value. They don't understand that we're in a shifting market. And when you break it down and you look at the the amount of inventory on the market, and then you look at what actually sold. So, for example, let's say a $500,000 price point in Pinellas County. Of those 582 listings, maybe only 82 of those have sold. So you look at what they call the these different ratios. You're going to look at the absorption rate, and you're going to look at the months of inventory. So right now we're in a shifting market, meaning the days on the market are adding up. the properties aren't selling, so less properties are selling per month. So you have to look at, are you going to price your property to be the one that sells, or are you going to price your property to comp and show the other ones that are going to sell? Those are the ones that are going to sell because they're the best price and they have the best for that price.
Absolutely. A couple months ago, there'd be, I'm sure you saw it, plenty of bidding wars on any property that got up there.
Oh, yeah.
But just like you said, it's more and more time sitting on there. So it's critical that they get with the right realtor. And I'm looking at them. So.
And that's right. And where I was going with that is that we can structure in deals. Like we have some pretty advanced negotiation strategies that we look at where, we can structure in, sometimes people say, seller concessions. Hey, let's make some seller concessions. Let's structure a deal where the buyer has to come, even if they're not a veteran, they can get 100% financing in essence with a small down payment. Some of those payments can be gift funds from families, relatives. But we're able to structure deals where, first of all, we're going to be hard on the comps. We're going to look at the comparables and say, hey, I know you have it priced here, but this is what our buyer would like to pay, and here's why. Because we're showing you these comparables, and the property is declining. So even if you have comps in a CMA report, or the banks call it a BPO, or an appraisal, even if you have comps from 3 months ago, 6 months ago, it's a completely different market than it is now, and even going forward.
For sure. Absolutely right. So it's all about having the right team so that each part of that team knows their role and does what they're supposed to do.
That's right. Yep. And here's one I heard this morning, and a lot of times there's a language barrier. So this was a foreign couple. There was one person that spoke English better than the other, and I was explaining to them, and they said, well, we don't want to sell our house because it's a beautiful home. If we price it right, it would sell really quickly. We don't want to sell our house because we don't know what we're going to buy yet, and we don't know what the inventory is. So that's a big one that people have. That's a huge concern, and it's like a balancing act. Before we sell this one, we got to have that one. But there's things that we can do with a post-occupancy agreement, different types of addendums that you can add into the contract. And I remember Frank, when we sat down last week, Frank had said, there's a section towards the end of the contract that says other conditions or something along those lines.
Most important part.
Yeah, the most important part of the contract. You can write in that section, certain things that are going to help your buyer or seller, whichever side you're representing. It's going to help them feel more comfortable about the outcome of the appraisal or the outcome of the different contingencies that can be written in.
Right. Hey, you tailor make it so it's exactly what the parties want. And so you're effectively, the pre-printed contracts everybody goes with, you're modifying, you're massaging it a little bit, but it's better for everybody. And the clearer you write it, it doesn't have to be fancy. The clearer you write it so a fifth grader can understand what everybody wants, the better it is. Because when I go to court, it's black and white.
Make it real simple, real easy to understand. And by the way, if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We're talking with Kevin Fiske, a mortgage banker here with Mutual of Omaha Mortgage. Attorney Frank Miranda as well, local real estate attorney, highly respected attorney here in the Tampa Bay market. Third generation, you said as well. I didn't realize that at first.
Yeah, third generation.
Wow.
What's great is my grandfather, when he was 11 years old, his parents gave him a quarter.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, tomorrow there'll be a ship here, and you're going to get on that boat, and you're going to go to Tampa.
Wow.
Good luck to you.
Wow.
And that's how it started in this country from my family.
Wow. Yeah. My grandparents were first generation from Portugal. Similar story. I mean, you just think about a lot of, and it's a country of immigrants, right? We really are. So you think about going back and being faced with that, like, man, you're going to jump on a boat. How long will it take to cross the seas back then, right?
Well, I'll be honest.
Weeks, right?
That was a short one because that was only came from Cuba. So.
Oh, okay. So yours was.
Hopefully it wasn't weeks.
Yeah, that was a shorter trip. But yeah, a lot of people have that similar story, and it's interesting. So now here we are in the land of opportunity. This is the best time to be alive as a human being in the best Tri-City area, in my opinion, in the country. Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. There's no better place, really, when you look at everything we offer here for the cost, the absence of a state income tax, 25 beaches, 35 museums, 40 miles of gorgeous beaches. I can go on and on. But when you look at where we're at as a society, we also have a lot of people that are lazy, and they're not taking advantage of what we have. Right. The flip side of what you just previously described. So it's
if you do nothing, you get nothing.
That's right.
It's democracy and it's capitalism. So if you have the means and you're not mentally incapacitated and you're not handicapped and you don't have any,
you can make it happen.
Get off the couch and let's go do something.
There you go.
Let's get it done.
That's right. So Kevin, when it comes to the financing side, what do you want the consumers out there to understand?
That just like Frank said, don't just sit there and assume, okay, I can't make it happen. There's no chance, or someone else had told you that it's not a possibility. So anybody that's out there that's thinking about buying, certainly anybody that's renting right now, any veteran that's out there, and it's not just the folks that need to upsize their homes. There's a lot of folks that want to downsize, or heck, even people that are out of state that would love to start the snowbird, or investors. You buy a home nowadays, Airbnb, you can more than triple the amount of money that your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance would cost.
That's right.
So, I mean, it's wide open, and just like Frank said earlier, I mean, it's kind of not cookie cutter. It is individual. We make it, we review everything, income, assets, credit, what it is they're trying to accomplish, and we'll put together the exact program with options to make it happen for them based on their goals.
I love it. Let's offer a rent versus own analysis for the first 3 listeners. If you're a renter, or maybe you know someone who is, text the word rent and the amount of rent that you're paying to our Consumer Advocate hotline, 813-670-7372. Text rent to 813-670-7372. And we're going to hook you up with a rent versus own analysis, break it, all the numbers down for you, and make it make sense to you and get you out of that renter's position and into home ownership where you can build wealth for your family and leave a better legacy. All right, stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from our expert contributors, and we have our feel-good story of the day. Lieutenant Dan, Gary Sinise, has dedicated his life to support veterans, and he's overcome with emotion by this video and this story. Find out about it right here coming up in our feel-good segment and our Tell Me Something Good right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the Consumer Quarterback. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. All-star lineup today, Kevin Fiske in the house, mortgage banker. He's a veteran as well. He's talking about 100% financing. We got VA programs out there. Mutual of Omaha Mortgage. Support your local economy, your local lender. Also, attorney Frank Miranda, real estate attorney, got an office right here in beautiful South Tampa, right on Cypress, a great in-between area, kind of in between the downtown, in between the West Shore districts, conveniently located right there on Cypress. A beautiful new building that they built. And I want to let you know about a hot property listing here in South Tampa, 103 South Havana Avenue, 5 bedrooms, 3 bath. This property is right in a great area. It's in this charming South Tampa historic home district, Plant High School district, Mitchell, Wilson, and it's 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, reduced down to $482,000. Owners motivated, and it's a great Airbnb property. Another interesting opportunity for an investor there. 5506 Dallas Way in Valrico. River Hills Country Club, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, just reduced down to $540,000, 3,500 square foot home. This is a pool home. It's a corner lot. It's got a den, 4-car garage. And the best part about it is the owner actually built this home himself. So he's a commercial contractor. He built this home himself, and no shortcuts taken here in the River Hills Country Club gated community, 5506 Dallas Way. Another hot, beautiful property listing of the Consumer Quarterback Show and Platinum MVP Team. And by the way, we have our buyer-seller seminar coming up on Thursday, the 28th, 6 to 8 p.m. over at Cox Media Group, 1025 The Bone Studio. We're doing a buyer-seller seminar, and you can learn tips and tricks to help you save time and money when it comes to purchasing or selling real estate. That's going to be over on 4th Street North and over in beautiful St. Petersburg. And we're going to help you win in any marketplace, of course, when it comes to buying, selling, or investing in real estate. So, all right, let's jump right back into it. So, Attorney Frank Miranda, real estate attorney here. What else are you seeing out there, Frank, when it comes to the consumer advocacy approach you have?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing I talked about already, what happened to me this week and when I reviewed that case. And so I've told that story. But in the grand scheme of things, the guys at Mutual of Omaha, Kevin's done a great job in explaining his program. So what we'd like to do as a firm is anybody that goes to Kevin with that program, we'll be happy to give them a discounted closing rate also for the veterans in this area. I mean, obviously, we have MacDill Air Force Base. What a tremendous resource we have here.
Yes.
And the spin-off of all the good they do there. I mean, talking about community service, aside from being protected from the military, what they do for the community is not told enough.
Right.
And those guys are out there and they're donating, and you see them trying to collect toys at Christmas, and you can't do enough for these guys.
Right.
And so we will definitely help out anybody you have in that program, Kevin,
Awesome.
and help the veteran out some more. Aside from what I'm seeing out there is, just this year, I've come across 3 scenarios where people wanted to walk away from the table and they had no contractual right to. And so fortunately, because they were at our law firm, we were able to stand up for the person and represent them along with doing the closing. And all 3 deals closed. And so fortunately, if you have someone that is more than just a title company, or more than just someone that's going to push paper across the table, that understands the whole realm of what's going on, we can prevent bad things from happening and get deals that should get closed.
Yeah.
You guys do a great job. And I can tell you, people on the radio that are listening, the properties that you feature today, y'all look beautiful. And they're great locations, well maintained, right on the spot, not only in the investment properties, but they look, if you have an extended family, wonderful place to go. So you guys have done a great job in getting great properties that you're telling the people about. And
Appreciate that.
It looks like if I was looking for a house, I'd definitely be interested in a couple of those.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, so when it comes to the real estate side, the title, the whole show, like we've set this show up as a consumer advocate model. So we've got CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, all types of home services related to this show, health, nutrition. We want you to check out consumerqb.com. You'll see links there to all of our expert contributors. You can call our hotline directly as well, and we're going to make sure put you in touch with the right professional that's going to be able to give you that consumer advocate advice. In our feel good segment today, we got a good one here.
Tell me something good.
So Lieutenant Dan Gary Sinise, a.k.a. Gary Sinise, has dedicated his life to support veterans. He's overcome with emotions by this thank you video. So he played Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump, and he's dedicated his life to giving back to veterans and their families. On a recent thank you video from celebrities and veterans brought the actor to tears. Sinise has spent the last 4 decades supporting active duty servicemen and women, veterans, first responders, their families and caregivers, and those in need. His foundation, the Gary Sinise Foundation, has raised $30 million a year for veterans.
Stand up guy. Stand up guy.
Freedom and security are precious gifts that we as Americans should never take for granted. We must all do what we can to extend our hands in times of need to those who willingly sacrifice each day to provide that freedom and security. While we can never do enough to show gratitude for our nation's defenders, we can always do a little more, Sinise said. So interesting story there.
He gets
in our Feel Good.
Lieutenant Dan gets it.
$30 million a year?
$30 million a year.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That is. That's awesome, man. 4 decades at it. So it's there's no I guess Tom Hanks, when he selected who was going to be playing that role, he had a heck of a guy in mind when he played that Lieutenant Dan.
Who doesn't like Lieutenant Dan?
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you're our generation, I mean, I don't know about my son. He won't maybe have
Yeah.
seen that movie, but that movie was seen by everybody who's in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah, it was awesome. Awesome. All right, let's jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Let's start right here with attorney Frank Miranda.
The message today is if you have assets, take care of yourself. And what I mean by that is it's become apparent to me like a sledgehammer over my head over the last week coming across these facts. Go see go see an estate planning attorney.
Yes.
Plan for yourself. Make sure if this happens to you that you protect yourself against someone trying to claim that you're incompetent. Protect yourself against people who you don't know may run your assets.
That's
right.
And
so if you have assets of any kind, go see a lawyer. And if you don't know one, call my law firm, 813-254-2637. Even though I don't do the estate planning of that aspect, I have colleagues that I often refer to that I trust wholeheartedly that did my own estate planning that I will put you in touch with. And so definitely take care of yourself. Do it before something bad happens to you. Have an estate plan.
Get it in place. Don't delay. That's one of those things for sure that we talk about here on the show. All right, we got Kevin Fiske, mortgage banker.
The Federal Reserve announced today that consumer debt, not mortgage debt, but your credit cards, car loans, and student loans, has reached an all-time high. So instead of the average American out there focusing on keeping up with the Joneses and putting more money on the credit cards and whatnot, it's time that you shift that paradigm and look into, if you already own a home, then it's time to invest in some homes, generate that equity, generate that wealth. Huge difference. Not only that, but tax advantages, certainly, that you would experience with the interest on that you can write off versus those stinking credit cards.
Yeah, there was an interesting debate that came out. I saw this video as I was at the airport. So there's a number one social media guy, this guy Gary Vee. A lot of people have heard of him. He recently in a video came out and basically what's the proper radio word here? He took a on home lending or home ownership rather. Yeah, he totally poo-pooed home ownership. And so I'm part of this nationally televised TV show called The American Dream Television Show. Craig Sewing, a friend of mine, the founder, awesome dude, he wrote a video or did a video kind of calling him out, and tagged him in it.
Right,
and he said,
rebuttal.
Rebuttal video. And he did it in very nice, I love you, Gary Vee. But so, yeah, the debate, to me, it's I've heard Grant Cardone say that as well when he was on my show one time. And to me, to beat up home ownership, which is such a driver to the economy, you think about, mortgage, title, home inspectors, you're putting a lot of people to work, Home Depot, Lowe's, all these different stores, to say that about home ownership. And by the way, when I was at the Gary Keller Williams event, he said, the way that they built wealth, and he's a billionaire at this point, is they would buy their home and then pay off the home, double the payment, get that thing paid down. That's it. From a home investment standpoint, that's discipline in investing. That's your first place that you want to invest in, is the place you live.
Absolutely.
And you can always access the equity. So it's pretty crazy when people try to say, no, you should rent.
Right.
And by the way, incidentally, Grant Cardone owns apartment complexes.
Yes.
There's no millionaire out there that doesn't own.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
Show me one.
Yeah. Yeah, show me a stock that can't go to zero, and show me a house that can go to zero. You know what I mean? It's not going to go to zero. Even if it burns down, it's insured, or the land, you rebuild on the land. So, so great point.
Every wealthy person has a portfolio of real estate.
That's right.
Every wealthy person I know, even locally, has a portfolio of real estate.
That's right.
And so if you don't have a portfolio of real estate, you're likely not wealthy.
Yep. That's right.
Homeowners have 38% more wealth than renters. Bottom line.
Right.
Those are the stats. So
exactly.
Just like you said, you're throwing money away. Why would you keep making your landlord rich?
That's right.
Why?
And you could, just not the uncertainty of hey, they decided to sell it. We have 30 days to get out now. And then to get, then that's landlord tenant law. You have that, boom, they're done. You can't throw the cool parties either, if you don't own the house. So, all right. So, hey, another great show. Kevin Fiske and Frank Miranda, thanks so much. Thanks to our listeners, viewers out there of our TV show. And also, we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, carry it with you to and from your commute, hand it to that person that you see in need, and be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz. The Biz. The Biz. The
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.